Hi, I'm Rocketworks' Dean Hall, and I'm a real-life survivalist. Today I'll be showing you the different dangerous situations that you may encounter in Icarus, and how you could really get out of them if you found yourself in them in real life. So Icarus is a survival game for the PC. It's set in the future, and you're a prospector who's on this planet that we've just discovered these amazing exotic resources that allow us to do heaps of awesome stuff. So think of it like the gold rush of the past, but with these awesome materials of the future. So you're dropping down onto the planet, potentially with your friends. You're trying to find these resources and you're using them to buy awesome gear. One of the really interesting parts of it is when you're cooperating with other people. So that was something we really wanted to explore. Being able to go down and play a survival game with your friends and focus on completing an objective together, trying to survive the elements, trying to survive dangerous animals, and work together. I did their survival training, which is in the jungles of Brunei. You get awarded a cute little badge, and as part of that training, you have to do a whole bunch of things in the jungle to qualify for the badge. One of them is you have to survive for a number of days, just basically on your own out in the jungle. And one of the things you have to do to score enough points is build an A-frame shelter. Well, one thing that we think is pretty important when you're playing a survival game is to have a whole bunch of choice. So in video games we call it agency in our industry, but essentially, yeah, it's just player choice. So we wanted a whole bunch of different building materials, in some ways so that you have different options depending on the situation you're in. Are you in an Arctic biome, in which case you really only have metal, stone, and a heck of a lot of snow. But you know, maybe you're in the forest biome, in which case you've got a lot of thatch and stuff like that, so you might want to make a thatch hut or something like that. Icarus is set on this Earth-like planet that we were terraforming and it failed. So that means some of the areas of the planet are terraformed, others aren't, and it has this turbulent weather system. And some of that's drawn from my own experiences in Antarctica or on Mount Everest at how fierce weather can be. And I think until you've really been in fierce weather conditions, you don't realize how terrifying it is, because it's all encompassing. You're just this tiny little thing in this giant weather system. So that's a real feeling that we wanted to deliver with Icarus. We wanted to introduce some of that fear. A lot of it's through audio. You don't have the same presence in a video game as you do in real life, obviously. So we have to sort of dial up and do a whole bunch of other things to try and immerse you in it. So in Icarus, shelter are incredibly important. You need it to be able to build your crafting benches so you can build more cool and interesting stuff to help you survive, as well as being able to shelter when storms come in. Different biomes, such as Arctic, desert, or forest, have different storms that you can face, whether they're windstorms or firestorms or lightning, which can set the forest on fire around you in the forest biome, or set your building on fire, or even you. So there's a lot of challenges that you can face in terms of the weather. Well, so part of the survival training that you have to do in Brunei, so you do like 3 months worth of practice. And during the practice, I found I was finishing our little practice sessions with food left over. So I figured that I was managing my food fine in the practice, because you get given like 24 hours food to last you like 2 weeks at the start of the proper exercise. And so I figured I'd be fine. And I figured whatever I needed, I would hunt. So I think the biggest rule for me in a survival situation like that around hunting is don't be overconfident. It's actually really, really hard. And actually, I blame video games a bit for thinking that hunting or trapping and stuff would be super easy in the jungle. It was really hard. I caught like a tiny fish that I didn't even want to eat. And I tried eating it later on when it was rotten. And that just made me sort of gag. So that didn't work. A lot of it's about situational awareness. So avoiding animals really comes back to that, and it's sort of a key feature that is taught to all soldiers as well as situational awareness, being aware of what's going on around you, how you can avoid the dangers and difficulties and stuff like that. And that's really a key part of movement across terrain in Icarus. So you obviously become quite familiar with the stuff around you and where you are. Whenever you're moving somewhere else, whether because you're looking for resources or you're trying to complete a mission, or you're going to try and find some exotics, which is the key thing you're trying to do to advance in the game. Yeah, so running into a polar bear is pretty bad. I'm going to level with you. Running into a polar bear is pretty bad. They're pretty big. You definitely have a fighting chance against them if you see them a long distance away. So when you're moving through the Arctic biome, there's very little vegetation, which works to your advantage so long as you're not there in a storm or fog or something like that, because you can see them from a long distance away, which means you can get some arrows into them particularly, or if you're lucky enough, your firearms. Having some discipline in the game to know that you have what you need as part of any journey that you're making. And I think that's as true in real life as in the game as well. We talked about moving between different areas and how important it is to have that awareness. You've also got to have awareness about what you have on you and your options. So getting injured in Icarus, we've had to sort of play and balance this a bit. We can't make you feel in the game, so we have this real problem of how we present stuff to you. So injuries are kind of a little bit gentle in Icarus compared to real life. This is something I actually learned when my previous game that I was very famous for, called DayZ, I actually created originally as a training tool for soldiers to avoid the problems I'd had in survival training. And what I realized was, if we have a tool for training soldiers and someone gets shot and they die, the soldiers just carry on in the exercise. But that's not real life, right? If someone gets hurt or terribly killed, you don't just sort of rock on with it in real life. So we adjusted the simulation so that people would always get incapacitated instead of dying, which then meant that the team would have to focus on helping them. That's something that we've carried over to Icarus. Instead of just outright getting rid of you and your friends just carrying on, or you just respawning. If you're ready to brave the video game wilderness, be sure to check out Icarus. Pre-order now for access to the beta on PC. If you're more interested in the real wilderness, just be sure to remember my tips and stay aware.